Good morning, everyone out there. Happy Wednesday, August 13th, and it's the great Mattsby and Tracker. How you doing out there?
I'm doing great. Good morning. Enjoying. Had a really nice cup of coffee. I make it with this sort of island blend that I discovered at Wegmans. It's really nice.
Don't even know what that is.
Oh, it's a big fancy grocery store. It's the fanciest, foodiest grocery store you've ever seen. It's fantastic.
It must be a East Coast thing. I don't know.
Yeah. How are you doing?
Pretty good. Just
Awesome.
looking at the melt up continue everywhere out there. So
Oh, I know. I forgot to show my spy chart for like the last week. I mean, not my spy chart, my VIX chart for the last week. Anyway, I'll show that later. Go ahead
yeah,
and do your thing.
yeah. Let's get started here with SPY. And what do you know? The 634 zone held. Flipped it back to a support, and now we're off to the races back up to the resistance above here. So maybe 648.98 is going to be the next target before any kind of other retrace happens. QQQ, it is breaking above. It's 1.272, so maybe there won't be a retrace just yet, and the melt up can continue. So if we're looking for the potential for the rest of the week for support, it's going to be the 578.46 right there. Stay above it day over day, then the chance to go to the 598 600 zone is going to be there. IWM, what do we know? It's going to gap up above this 786 finally. I've been waiting for this break, and I want to see if it can hold for the rest of the week. That's 226.80. Stay above it, then we're going to go towards 235. And then after that, all-time highs. So it's getting ready to continue. And I think this could be a new range it's developing right now. It's been a while since it's been in this 226 to 235 range. Essentially, the last time it was really there was all throughout this choppiness back in December of last year and even January of last year as well before the crash. But reclaiming that as support is crucial for the continuation higher. So that's what I'm watching the most. And we can look at Bitcoin here. It is the body of the candle is getting more and more above the previous bodies, so this is great for potential continuation. And the next resistance is going to be that 128 on log scale that I've been showing before, and that'll be right in this zone up here. So I think it can just continue to go in that direction as long as we stay above these previous bodies of these candles and just keeps on accelerating higher. So good developments for Bitcoin, but even better developments for Ethereum. And we can just take a look at the Ethereum chart here. And it's just getting really close to previous all-time highs, 4868.8. That is the target to break above. Is it going to do what Galaxy and Coinbase did, where it goes through all-time highs and then it corrects down back to the 886? I mean, we'll find out, right? That is a possibility we got to consider, because breaking out of this zone, and then it was a previous massive resistance zone and back testing it, could be a possibility before continuing higher. So we'll have to be a little bit cautious here at previous all-time highs, because I'm not convinced yet that it wants to break out. But once it does break out, we could go accelerate to the 7,000, 8,000, 9,000, 10,000, maybe even 14,000 above after that. So
Woo-hoo.
looks really, really nice. But again,
Ethereum 40,000, send it.
yeah, maybe, right? Maybe. But again, cautious at resistance. Will be more bullish at support if there is any back test, or if it can just clearly break out and then just stabilize on top of all-time highs, then we're going to be good to go too. And lastly, let's just take a look at Tesla pre-market too. And there really is no change. Still is underneath the arc, still is under the 886, so it's not ready to go Palantiring just yet. 353.19 is going to be really the level to break above to get a lot more exciting. So we're still range bound, pretty close to resistance, but it is a breakout, right? We had a nice breakout because of the 321, right? We go back to this line here too. I drew a line here. It's a clear break of trend, and it wants to go higher. And the 321, it broke out above that too. So we just have a few more steps to have a clean and clear breakout. So it's not free and clear yet, but it's getting closer and closer to that. Tracker.
All right. I'm not even going to touch what Matt already covered. We're just going to go straight into the requests. So let's start with Microvast is the first one that I see a couple people, more than a couple people ask for. Here's my Microvast chart. I'm using my new setup here where it tells you what we usually talk about, what we usually say out loud. Here's the all-time low. Actually, let me go week here, just to orient you. Now, actually, this is chart. The Microvast chart has this weird data way over here, and I looked at it. I mean, at first, I want to go into too much, but I looked at putting this down here, and then this up. That is the all-time high, and it just didn't quite make sense. But look right here. See, this comes down, and then what does it hit? It wants to hit the 50%, the halfway point, and it was significant back here. So all I did was I just moved this up a little bit so that this actually does indeed touch the center pivot, the 50% right there, and then these two were resistance, catches support down here and then sends it up here. So anyway, Microvast on a 16-hour chart with my moving average 300 and yada yadas. I was just about to put a 5-wave thing up here. Let me just hide this for a second. All right. So yeah, it went to 100%, back to the 50%. It's in the upper half here, which is great. It's trying to get 786 as support to test the 886. Whenever it gets over the 886, touches back to a support, then it can make a new all-time high. Let's see what we got here. I put these fibs on, and it does look like these linear scale fib extensions want to send it at least to over the 886 really. So let me just do a quick undirty from here, like 618, 382 flavor of 2025, 1382, 100, and then the 2382. So I don't know. I won't go into right here. If I was on my own, I would subdivide the 886 to the 100% to try. Well, that's just like the 50% level right there. It looks like it gets halfway between the 886 and the 1. And then that's going to have to do a little retrace, maybe back to the 886. So yeah, MVAST looks really good. Anyway, where prices right now in pre-market, 264, right about there. That's 267. To the 886 is 208% higher. To that wave 5 top, to the halfway to the between the 886 and the 100% is 406% higher. So yeah, MVAST looks really, really good. And then Palantir, I should do Tiger first. Oh, actually, I got to do, you know what? I'm going to send this back to you, Matt, because I'm going to make new charts for these ones.
Okay. Let's take a look here. Let's do something. ACHR, why not? I'll jump on that one. So I've talked about ACHR a couple times before, and what I'm watching with ACHR really is just some developments of. Wait, I think this is the wrong one here.
That's Archer.
Yeah, that is ACHR. I wanted to do ACHR on this one right here.
Oh.
Yeah, ACHR, because this was the chart that I had before. Essentially, the 899 and the 1103. I think I talked about this before. This is the zone it's been in for a while since it broke out. So we're going to just be patient on this one and wait until it can really break out above the 1103. Like, there's not going to be a definitive breakout until it really starts to build a base. And every time it breaks above, there's just a quick rejection of that 786. So we need to find stability above that 1103 in order to get more bullish. But I think I talked about it before, how since it broke through the cloud, it never really touched it. So it might just be going sideways for a time, a little bit longer, until it gets closer to the cloud before ready to go higher. So the range is still 899, 1103 on the high time frame. There's really not going to be any change on that until there can be some building of a base at the 1103 to go higher. So just stuck in the range for a long, long time, and perhaps a little bit longer with that. And we can take a look here at, I haven't done this one in a while. Let's do SMLR. And SMLR, there's my green GAN level right here, and it's still stuck below it for the past few weeks. So does that mean it's going to come back down to the 3125? It is a possibility on the high time frame, but what we're seeing now is ultimately just range bound in between this 3125 and the 4234, right? You can just see it's bouncing off those fibs. One fib, and it goes to the next, and it goes down, then it goes to the next, then it goes down. So that essentially is the range. We don't even need the GAN in there. We can just see the fibs, right? Just look at that. And if price can ever start to establish a nice foundation on top of that 4234, then it'll go higher. But right now it's just range bound, and the bottom of that range is around that 31.25. So bullish, more bullish at support, cautious at resistance until there's proof it can really break out above. And go ahead, Tracker, back to you.
All right, let's see. Here's Tiger, a brand new chart. I just pulled these fibs from this low of $2.03 to the all-time high of $38.50, and it comes all the way back down to retest the 1111 or the 1114, and then wicks to the 50% resistance for a while, and now it's support. So bullish. Whoops, what just happened there? Bullish from here. I was going to try to draw something, but don't worry about that. So when I pulled up these, this one right here, some what do you call it? I'm sorry, having a brain fart. When I pull up my linear scale fib extensions, they Doppler into this zone right here, right around the 1272, which looks really quite fantastic. So yes, from the 702 back to the 374, the strongest resistance to the lower half became support. So now look for it to have trouble with the 886, obviously. My line just kind of blows through it, but it's really ignoring a bunch of important stuff here. I would say definitely look for it to get resisted by the 886, maybe back down to the 702, then maybe oscillates around the 886 for a minute before it turns into support, and then can send it to not quite reach the 114 the first time. Maybe just to there, and then I like that better. All right, I'm gonna get rid of this thing. I like this better. So look for Tiger to do like that. From where price is now at 1064, you're about there. There's 1065. So to the 886 is 160% higher. So that's, that'll keep you busy for the rest of the year, probably. There you go. That's Tiger. Gosh. GRRR is one of these red chip promoted stocks. Let me just go to the chart I've already got. So I'm not spending. That's a Grok chart too. There is nope. I've been converting a lot of stuff over to this Grok charting. Here's one. That is the old charts. All right, Gorilla Technology. I'm looking for it to continue towards $38. Let's see where we are at. We're at 1768 here in pre-market. You're in the way. Okay, so this is like your 1-2 right here. I thought it would go 382, 236. Instead, it went 382, but then went all the way back down to retest the 114 mini boss again. That said, the rest of this chart should hold up to the 123.6 next for all of wave 3. And so from our prices right now, that is a whole bunch of motion, 264% higher to get to 64.22. And then let me just look at these. These are linear scale retracements. Ew, gross. There we go. Now it's log scale. What is that, log scale, really? I don't feel like I did. No, I clicked the wrong one. Check this one. No, I don't know what I got. Okay, so yeah, again, towards the 886. The 886 is 46.61. That'll be your biggest resistance. So from our prices now to the biggest resistance is 163%. There's GRR. I'm going to send it back to you, Matt. And, well, actually, I'll do my Palantir, and then I'll send it back to you to give you a little more time to prepare for what you're doing next. Palantir. I have this chart here where I thought maybe it would go 123.764. It still looks like it could do that, really. 16-hour moving average 75 is tracking the Ichimoku cloud down here. But, you don't really have to worry until it breaks the Ichimoku conversion line, which it's still pretty far from the conversion line. You can see it's on RSI. It's pretty high in the green there. I would just be careful about here. Watch 197.46 for resistance. We still haven't touched it yet. And yeah, that's this 1111. When it starts to go from the 1618 to the 2618, I can't see where. Yeah, to the 2618 there. Well, this right here between the two, the 1111 is 197.46. So I would expect price to, that would definitely be resistance. It would touch that, which would send it to retest the whole lower, the 1618 part before it can go on into the 2618 exploration territory. All right, back to you, Matt.
Yes. Let's go to check out QS and maybe Coin and a few others. We'll go here. And QS, what do I see with this? Well, it got rejected off of this 236, so we'll have to add on a few more indicators here. We can look at the Ichimoku and the SMAs and just see that it's really trying to stay above now the 200-week moving average, which is my purple line. That's really what I'm watching the most, right? Stay above that, which is 904, then it's not really going to go back down to the cloud and retest it. But if it starts to break below that 200-week moving average again, then the potential to go back and retest the sixes and below are still possible. So it's really in a battle of trying to flip everything here back to a support, and more importantly, getting back above the 1102. So it had a big breakout. We're just working on consolidation now. It could take some time, but I'll be watching this 904 the most for stability. And Coin, I see a question. Will Coin be touching any support? I'm not sure what that means because it has already been, right? It's already been touching the baseline last week. It's been touching the 886 this week, and it's been in this zone for 3 weeks now, the past 2 weeks in a row. So I'm not sure what that means, touching support.
They bought it at the last resistance.
Oh, maybe. Yeah,
but
yeah.
No, I mean, sorry, the next one, that's not support.
The one below?
They probably bought it a week ago, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I mean, it's been in a support zone for the past couple of weeks, and bullish at support, cautious at resistance. That's the name of the game. And 318.95 is still what I'm watching for the rest of the week. Try to break above it, then it can get more bullish. Then we got the 344, 345 conversion line above to try to break above next. So it's just trying to stabilize on top of this important zone before going higher and higher. And let's take a look here. Yeah, MSTR. I see. Is that a bearish tri-star pattern? I mean, I'm watching my arc. I don't care about any candle patterns right now. I just think this arc is just really finding stability on top of here. So that arc is around 365, and the conversion line is acting as resistance around 408. So we're not going to be able to break out until there's more weekly candles above that 408. So this is really just showing a picture of why it's range bound and it's not ready to go higher yet. But once it kind of breaks out, it already is making higher highs, right? Because we got a higher high from the previous May 25th area. So I think over time it will gravitate to the 542 and above, right? It just could take some more time. But stabilize on top of this arc, stabilize on top of the cloud, on top of all the support, even the 1.414. It's holding support nice. There's nothing bearish about this chart. It's just likely to do some underperforming now because Ethereum and all the altcoins are taking the show right now, which is making Bitcoin just be boring for a little bit. So bullish chart, just more consolidation underway. Go ahead, tracker.
All right, thanks, Matt. I promised to show my VIX chart, and I completely forgot, but now I just remembered. And so here's my VIX chart, and you can see we are indeed crossing the take profits line here. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that you should just sell everything and go to cash and wait. But this is where we're definitely in the territory in which you definitely want to sell any big rips you see. Let's see. The 141 down here at 1344 for the VIX is definitely the extreme, in the toe into the extreme greed zone. I mean, if we see stuff go all the way down to VIX approaching 11 or 1050, then that's the market top. That's like the big market top. So let's keep an eye out for that. This might just kind of dip in here. The 1382 is, well, it should have been support, but it's still going a little bit. So I don't know. I had this idea that maybe after sell, buy, sell might be all the way down here at 1344. So let's just keep an eye on your VIX chart, set an alert for 1360 or so, and see what that does. But after touches down here on this trend line, it might go all the way back up to this trend line again, which is still in the greed zone, but it's going to feel like, the market turned bearish, but it's not really bearish. It's just kind of pulling back before, who knows, doing the huge market melt up later here at the end of the year. And this is around October. Let's see, this is around September 5th, and this is around October 8th. So we'll see. Well, actually, this should really be over here. Oh, I'm sorry, it's not on the line. This is October 27th. That makes more sense. So maybe a topping around, a local topping around September 5th, and then a local bottoming around October 27th. Spooky end of the October. All right, and then I pulled up a game chart here, and here is game from its all-time high. Like it made like almost a slightly higher high than when it started off, and then it went all the way back down here to make the all-time low of 50 cents. And you can see it went to the strongest resistance of the lower half down to the strongest support of the lower half, and we're making our way back up. And when I put on this handy-dandy linear scale fib projection, you can see that all the action is Dopplering into at least the 50% mark, maybe just slightly above it. So that said, I would expect to see this get a toe over the 50%. So let's just do this for now. Let's say from where price is right now at 92 cents, probably wants to go, about 359, about 360. That's 290% higher from where price is now. Of course, it won't go in a straight line. It'll kind of like ABC up on the way up there. But there you go. That's my next target. And then just to get to the 50% and fail the first time, that's 463% higher for game. All right, that's that. Let me do VVPR. I'm going to let Matt do SHIB if he wants to. VVPR. Oh, I need to do this over from this high. It's so much faster for me now, though, because I just do that, and I do this, and I pick this one. And then there's the stuff, and here's the 50% level where it couldn't quite get back over it. It goes all the way down here. So here, strongest resistance of lower half, weakest support of lower half, but it held. I don't know if it still has to go back down to $1.34 or not. It doesn't seem likely. It seems like now it's just handling up, right? Cup and handle, cup and handle. So let's just do a quick one of these. From here to here, to here. It looks like it's Dopplering in again above the 50% level, above the center pivot. Maybe this time I'll just throw in my 5 waves here. So from here to there to there. Ooh, that's like 764, 236. This is kind of crazy. Let's do 161, 1236, 261. So it looks like this will go to almost what would be the 886 of the 50% to the 618. Like, in other words, if I did this, then it's kind of going to the 618. See, here's the 618 right there. Boom. That's like 1953. All right, and then the thing that you want to hear is how much money will I make on this? From 634 now in pre-market. Again, it could test back down to 598 first. It can always go down first. But then the center pivot is 98% higher up here at 1264. And then once it gets over that 618 of the 50% of the 618 here is 204% higher. And back to you, Matt, if you want to do more crypto or whatever you feel like doing.
Yeah, I'll do some SHIB. I see a question though about should I sell my Bitcoin and go all into Ethereum? I mean, I don't like these questions because that's your own personal preference. But for me, I don't like to chase, and for selling a core holding, which is Bitcoin, to chase something else, it just doesn't make any sense to me because oftentimes the core holding is a core holding, right? That's like selling Palantir to chase something else when Palantir has been like automatic gains, right? Bitcoin has been automatic gains. So, I mean, that's strength in your portfolio. Without it, there would be no core position. So I have both, right? I don't chase, I have both, and I accumulate others on weakness, right? All the other weak ones, like a few months ago, was just accumulating that. So let's take a look here at SHIB. And SHIB here's an example of something that's been just trying to stabilize in a zone for a very long time. We can see that this had a big breakout, kind of like a big double top formation. Now it's just going sideways a little bit. So is it ready to break out? It's not yet, right? You got the baseline right there at current price trying to break above. Then you have more resistance here at the 0.00001637 and the 1790. All of that above is going to be resistance, but it's trying to get more bullish, right? It's trying to get more bullish and go to the cloud and whatnot. But right now, stay above the conversion line, the 1299, then it'll have a chance to get more and more bullish. And let's see here. I see some requests for some miners too, so I guess I'll just jump onto that as well. I know a lot of people are concerned about the miners. So we can talk about the most favorite one, iron, right here. It's getting rejected at the 886, so 1935 is resistance, but support has been holding beautifully on this breakout backtest of the arc and the conversion line. So it's range bound until further notice, but it's a very bullish chart. It's probably one of the most bullish miners, right? So is this one dead? Not at all. It has plenty of room to continue higher. 28, 25 is the level to break to get a lot more bullish. We can look at CLSK. I talked about this yesterday. It's still trying to hold the baseline on the weekly chart. Even pre-market is right around there, 1008. Right? It's just a big breakout backtest, but the monthly chart tells the picture, guys. It's inside the cloud for the first time ever, really, since, basically the first time ever on the monthly chart. So stay inside the cloud, stay above the 50-month moving average, keep building a base. It should be able to move higher, right? This is a positive trend change, and also it's higher high, higher low on the high time frame as well. We can look at Mara, same situation. It's just range bound between the 50-month and the 100-month moving average, and it's trying to find stability for over a year, right? It's just a lot of patience for these names, but they're not dead. They're not making lower lows, right? They're still making over time on the high time frame, higher low. They're still okay, right? And lastly, we can look at BTBT on the monthly chart. It's very, very nice, right? It's just unable to break this big wall of resistance right now at 308 up to the 370s. So this whole zone, big high time frame resistance, but once it can stabilize above that 308, that 618 fib, then perhaps we'll see a move in the right direction. But they are all basically just range bound and waiting to try to break their resistance zones above. So nothing wrong with the miners. They're just lagging. I think they're just waiting for IWM because IWM is waiting to break out of the 886 fib as well. So give it time, give it space, and things will happen as they should. Tracker.
All right, Matt. Let's see. I haven't done a DJI chart in a long time. Here's the Dow Jones Industrial Average from 1897 is where I started my fib retracements, retracing back from here in, 1928 or something or so. So 386 back to 28. And you can see all we've done is gone from the 1618 to the 2618 and turned it into, you can see we spent a lot of time here around the 2618. And then after a back test, I guess you could say a liquidity grab, we are back to, we've already made this 125. It's like a quarter of the way to the center point. So let's see. That's support, and it's going to gravitate towards the 0.25 here at 49,874. I don't think it needs to go back down again. Yeah, if you just look at this over the highest time frame that I'm looking at, eventually it wants to test the center pivot up here next at 90 Dow Jones Industrial 95,383. But we just have to get through the this 2.5 next 3.75. Maybe it does something like. I know this isn't what you wanted. You wanted something that was going to tell you what it was going to do today. I'm sorry. Something like that. Anyway, Dow Jones Industrial Average. Dare I? Do I dare? Sure, let's try it. Let's just go from up here to down here. And you can see here's that 50% test where it was support, then it lost it, gained it back. 786, we're over the 886. So look, it looks like it's ready to break out. The Dow Jones Industrial Average is hovering over the 886 and wants to go to make a new all-time high over 45,100 and go to probably 46,195 next. So let's see, at the minimum. Where prices right now, that is about another 4% higher. I guess if we want to see it do something significant, 10% higher to 49,000. But to get up there, it'll have to do something like from here to, let's see if we can do this one. Oh, I like that. No. It's going to be there. Just doing this to that, to that, to that. 618, 382. It looks like it's gravitating towards the 1618. This takes it all the way to 1618. Let me see. Let me do something lower time scale. I know. I slowed the show to a crawl to indulge myself in this. That's not going to work. Let's try a recent one. This one. Oh, why does this look weird? You are linear, right? Yes. Well, this just seems to keep wanting to go to the 2618. That's all I can say. All roads point towards, or I'm sorry, 1618 is the 2618 of the other chart. 15% higher for Dow Jones Industrial Average. All right, there you go. ACHR. Oh, let me do HIMS real quick. Let's do it from. Well, do I have HIMS on this? No, I don't. All right, let's got HIMS on here. All right, HIMS. It's still in its wave 3. It's just to the large degree. Well, here's your large degree. When wave 1, wave 2, then wave 3, sub 1, sub 2, and it's just still making big oscillations. I guess you could call this. It's not even 3 yet. That's like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like that. So this is like these are your sub waves. Just change this to that. Anyway, here you go. This should gravitate towards this 127.2, 89.17 is what I'm going to call for next. So yeah, and then from prices now, does it need to go lower? No, it's in the cloud. If it exits the bottom of the cloud, that would be bad, but I think it's going to go higher. So that's like 82% higher to reach 89.17 from where price is now. All right, back to you, Matt. Done enough damage.
Yes, I'll finish off with the APLD here, and then I'll let you finish off the show after that. So here's a APLD, and it's actually looking pretty good. And I wanted to just highlight the monthly chart for APLD because it's also got inside the monthly cloud last month. It came back down to backtest the bottom of the cloud, and in the continuation higher is there. So yeah, APLD is looking better and better. It just has a few more things to break to get a lot more bullish. One of them is the 786. And that 786 is at 1551, and then we got the top of the monthly cloud at 1713. So that's going to be the area of interest to break out. But once again, cautious at resistance. We'll be more bullish at support, and the time to be more bullish at support was that breakout backtest, and that was huge. Why? Because it was the 702 was a big resistance before after it broke down. So that breakout, that backtest, that was the opportunity to get more excited. Not up here. We got resistance right now. Let's see if we can break, but we need some confirmation to do so. And lastly, I'll do Lemonade as well. And Lemonade, we'll do weekly candles just to show you that price also broke out above the 44.01. That happened last week. But again, the true opportunity was the breakout of the arc and the cloud, and just back testing that cloud for over a month. It gave lots of ample opportunity to accumulate. So now is not the time. It's getting closer and closer to resistance up top. $62 is the 618. Then the bottom of the arc there is around 61. So I think it can continue the journey higher before any more major rejection. But yeah, the true opportunity was the breakout of the cloud and the back test of the cloud before it really just wanted to launch higher. So in the meantime, let's just stay above $44, and this can continue the journey higher. And the last thing I'll answer is from Evan, who has been spamming the chat. Nice. Are we in a market melt up? If so, what makes you think so? Well, because the market's been melting up. It's as simple as that. Like, all you got to see is look at the SPY from the bottom. there's been shallow pullbacks. This is the definition of a melt-up, right? So with that, the charts are proof things are in a melt-up. Not everything, but a lot of things are. Tracker, finish off the show. Take us out.
All right. I didn't do SBET, did I? Here's SBET. I like this one for Ethereum, but it's not doing as well as Ethereum right now. Let me tell you that right now off the bat. But from its all-time high to its all-time low are these fibs on the right. And so the center pivot here is at 240.14. And you can see, well, if I get rid of this so you can see better, it didn't quite make the 50% for this retrace, but it did make almost its 886 when you bridge from the bottom to the halfway point. So this is half of the halfway point, and we are just a hair under half of the halfway point. It's trying to turn this 2316 into support so it can go higher into this little purple zone. So let's see, I would just say as long as price doesn't go lower, it wants to go to this 886 next. That's 505% higher for SBET Gaming to $140 just about. So, that's the kind of action I'm looking forward to with SBET. And then, will it will go all the way up here? I don't know. But this is the kind of move I was hoping to take advantage of. So let's see if we can get that. And my golly, if it gets over this moving average 300 on the weekly chart and flips it to support, look out above. And then what was I going to do? BMR. Wait, DFDV. Did I do DFDV today? I cannot remember. I did not because I don't have a Grok chart of it. Let me just do this real quick. From bottom to the top. No, it's supposed to be top to the bottom. Dang it. I'm trying to get used to doing this the right way. You're supposed to do retraces from the top to the bottom. That way you don't have to hit the reverse button on the little option here. All right, here we go. So from the top to the, well, actually it's supposed to be the other way also. It should be from this top to this bottom, and then, oh, look, it already did all this stuff. So actually now I do want to do it the other way. You can see from this top, from this high to this low, it broke out and then came down to test the 120 or the 1.272. And it's going into the next zone to the from the 1618 to the 2618. But let's go ahead and pull this up here and say, yeah, it's back testing the 702. 886 is resistance, but once it can get back over 886, it should want to go to this 114 or higher. So anyway, from our prices now at 1784, close enough, 1786. To get back to that previous all-time high is 190% higher. This 114 is like 400% higher. So, again, this is the kind of stuff, they're crazy volatile, but I'm hoping, I've got high hopes. So then BMNR, this one, I've got a BMNR chart already done up here. Log scale, back test. Here's what I'm looking for in BMNR. I think I showed this chart, I built this chart on this show earlier week. So here's your cup, and we just need a handle, maybe a couple handles, but it eventually wants to get to the 786, back to the 702, to 886. I don't know if it's going to go back to the 618 or not. No. Usually, if it goes to the 1168 and it can't get higher than 1168, then you might see something where it goes all the way back to the 618 and says, okay, we're good. And then it runs back up again. Those are the crazy moves. Wait, it's not going to do that because this is, sorry. Anyway, this is my BMNR chart. I think 84, 88 next, back to 74, and then it's on to 237. And that's what you really wanted to know. All right, it's 9:09. I took up a bunch of Matt's extra time. Thank you, Matt, for your indulgence. And thanks for your indulgence last night. I know I went kind of crazy talking about my new chart method, but I really like it. I'm excited about it, and I think it's going to be useful. Yeah, this thing right here. Okay.
It's been fun.
Well, good luck, everybody. It's Wednesday. I have no preconceived notions about what will happen today. As Matt said, it looks like we're in a market melt-up. So the pullbacks will be shallow and the wicks up will be high.
Yeah. All right, guys.
And
We'll see you tomorrow morning then.
and the VIX is very high, so look out. We're in the greed. We're getting into the extreme greed zone. Thankfully.